Transformers 4 is f***ing bonkers, y'all. Let's just start with the villain. Harold Attinger, played by an always solid Kelsey Grammer, is a lifelong government official and former Navy SEAL who's currently overseeing a Black Ops military unit. After the tragic Battle of Chicago, Attinger and his unit are engaged in a cyber war against all Cybertronians, Decepticon and Autobot alike. It turns out, this war has an ulterior motive beyond keeping the country safe, as Attinger is leveraging his government position for profit. He's sending the Cybertronian corpses to tech company KSI so their bodies can be harvested, dissected, and used to create Transformium, from the good folks who brought you Unobtainium. Attinger has also struck an uneasy alliance with Lockdown, a Cybertronian bounty hunter who agrees to give Attinger the Seed, a device that will produce a butt-ton of Transformium if he helps him find Optimus Prime. In Transformers Age of Extinction, the US government is the enemy, and Attinger's whole arc is about the government exploiting a national tragedy to justify a war that's more about profiting off a valuable, hard-to-get resource than keeping Americans safe. It is Halliburton by way of Apple, Dick Cheney if he hunted robots instead of his friends. The glaring post-9/11 subtext of Transformers Age of Extinction is wild. And it's even more wild considering it happens in a movie that also has this scene.
I just called the cops on you because this is illegal. She's a minor.
We're protected by the Romeo and Juliet laws.
We dated for a little while. I was a sophomore and he was a senior. It's fine.
No, it's not fine.
We've got a pre-existing juvenile foundational relationship.
Transformers Age of Extinction can only be described as a series of strong choices. Some of those choices are tight as hell, while quite a few others, like a lot of the others, are questionable at best, abhorrent at worst. Full disclosure, I generally dig the Michael Bay Transformers, I know, shoot me. The first is just a perfect summer movie. The second is a non-stop fever dream, so insane it almost works as a work of pure expressionism. Almost. I'm gonna make a whole video about my feelings for Dark of the Moon, spoilers, I really enjoy it. And The Last Night is simply not it. But Transformers Age of Extinction is just bonkers, y'all. But before we get into one of the strangest blockbusters of all time, some housekeeping. This is Wonder, a channel all about movies. I'm either giving older films critical reappraisals or talking about how changes in the business of film have affected the quality of the art being produced. If you dig the vibe, please give a like and subscribe, and also ring the bell. So with that out the way, let's talk about what exactly happens in Transformers 4. Transformers 4 was supposed to be the start of a new trilogy, with Mark Wahlberg's Cade Yeager taking over for Shia LaBeouf's Sam Witwicky. Cade is not just a failure of an inventor, but also a failure of a father. He's simultaneously overprotective yet inattentive to his daughter, Tessa. He's got a strict no boys rule because he was a teenage father and doesn't want that for his kid. When we first meet Cade, he's with his unpaid employee Lucas scavenging a dilapidated movie theater. Somehow, some way, a whole ass truck is just parked inside the theater, which of course, Cade scavenges. When Cade gets home, we see that he's a broke ass, bum ass,
can't take care of his responsibilities as a motherfucking man
ass nigga. He's got evictions, on evictions, on evictions, and thinks this one truck is gonna be the thing to solve all their problems. And lucky for him, his family thinks the same when they find out it's a Transformer. Turns out, there's a reward for info on Transformers. Cade wants to fix up Optimus and try to learn from the technology. His homeboy says, yo, that's cute and all, but I'm trying to get paid. Unfortunately, they got their hands on public enemy numero uno, so Attinger sends his strike team, Cemetery Wind, in to investigate. The team comes, they pin down Tessa and Cade, they're about to effing kill them. They investigate the shed where Optimus is kept, but he's somehow hiding under a very deep hole under the floor. Hey, stop thinking, just go with it. Cars turning into robots, damn it. Maybe they've got deep holes in Texas. I don't know, I've never been there. I've been to San Antonio, but I don't count. Anyway, Andrew's Point Man Savoy, played by the always excellent Titus Welliver, is deadass about to shoot Tessa. Optimus finally shows up and gets the burner working. I have to say, especially early in the movie when there's only one or two Transformers on screen, this 10-year-old movie looks better than most computer-generated spectacles these days, including the most recent Transformers film Rise of the Beasts. The detail work in particular is of note. While there is a flat, almost photoshopped feel to the bots in Rise of the Beast, you can really see how much, the basics of dynamic lighting and shadows and practical effects sell the illusion and makes the bots feel like tangible parts of the environment and not just plopped into a flat-ass plate shot. This sequence in general is pretty impressive as Optimus is beating ass left and right when a rally car bursts in from nowhere to save Cade and Tessa. Who's the driver? Shane, aka Tessa's boyfriend she's not supposed to have. I know. So obviously we get a quick sitcom B-plot going down in the car while they're being chased by Attinger's men. There are some fire shots in this chase, particularly Optimus Prime back body slamming a couple of cars into an insane crash. Say what you will on the plotting, and trust me, I'm gonna have a lot to say. But the modern blockbuster could learn from how Bay and his team blend practical effects with digital ones. The sequence ends with Cade, Tessa, and Shane narrowly escaping, but not before old boy gets dropped by one of Lockdown's sick-ass grenades. I mean, that's what happens when you're a snitch-ass bitch. So after all the chasing, shooting, and exploding, we get a nice, quiet moment where this scene happens.
Statute 2705-3.
What? Texas statute?
I know that some folks say that the movie isn't condoning this, but showcasing an absurd law that actually exists in Texas, a land known only for absurd laws, but it just doesn't work. The scene isn't that funny, it makes the supporting lead seem sketchy, and it just doesn't feel good to watch a 20-year-old man make out with a teenager. It's giving Drake, and I don't like it. This honestly could have been solved by just aging her up. It would have genuinely given more dramatic heft to the relationship. Just think about it. Tessa wants to go to college, have her own life, but she's stuck taking care of her irresponsible father. It would also make the tension between Shane and Cade much more understandable. Shane could want more for Tessa and doesn't respect that Cade has let his failings as a man hold back his daughter. This is just intro to storytelling stuff. Anywho, Cade reverse engineers a bug drone thing that Andrew's team was using and finds out it was developed by KSI. No, not him, not that one though. I would watch the hell out of that movie. Optimus calls the Autobots, and outside of B, these are all new faces. We got Samurai Guy, voiced by Ken Watanabe, John DiMaggio coming on as Green Dirtbag, and John Goodman clearly having a blast as Hound. Doing so good that I actually remembered that Transformer's name. They decide to raid KSI and figure out what exactly is going on here. This is when we meet Joshua Joyce, the CEO of KSI, played by the always welcome Stanley Tucci. We really gotta talk about how Michael Bay stayed getting goated actors in this franchise. We got Tucci, Grammer, and Welliver in here. We had John Turturro, John Malkovich, and Francis McDormand in the last one. I just think there's a there, there's a there. So anyway, the sequence at KSI is where we find out about what Transformium is and how to let you listen to music. Or kill a guy. The Autobots find out the corpses of their brothers in arms have been melted down and reconfigured into basically drone formers, one of which is conveniently Galvatron. So after Stanley Tucci's all like, don't you get it? We can build you, bro. We don't need you. Go home. The Autobots dip, and that's when Andrew's like, this is it! This is our moment! Put these untested military-grade weapons onto American streets to kill them Autobots! For profit! I mean for freedom, but, profit! So we get yet another car chase. The drones are going buck wild, indiscriminately wrecking civilian cars in their pursuit of the Autobots. Whereas the car chase earlier in the film was unique in that it was in the Texas heartland and it was mainly human-driven with just two Transformers wrecking shop, this one right here feels like a not as good version of the highway chase in 3. That being said, it does come to a phenomenal close with this hard-ass shot of Lockdown. This is honestly just peak cinema. A gun face? A gun face. So we're at the end of the chase, and Lockdown captures Optimus and Tessa because she didn't know how to get out of a car when robot shit is going down. So the movie had me up until Chicago, but we got another 90 minutes of this, and it just becomes more and more utter nonsense. So Lockdown gets his ship, and it's seen over Chicago, understandably causing a panic because, you know, there was a whole battle here. Well, it takes a year and a day to prepare for space travel. The Autobots make a plan to get Prime while Cade and Jack argue over whether...
I'm not here to help you get your daughter. You're here to help me get my girlfriend.
I just don't like this guy. So anyway, the Autobots find Optimus, Cade and Shane find Tessa, and a sword gun. I didn't know if Michael Bay was playing Final Fantasy VIII like that. Respect. And during this whole sequence, we frequently cut to Lockdown shit-talking Prime, but so much of it is based on lore that wasn't established in the prior movies and only the hardcore fans would understand. And the thing is, from what I understand, most hardcore fans who watched all the cartoons and read the IDW comics don't really get jiggy with the movies. So I don't know who any of this is for. Like, I liked Transformers Armada and Beast Wars as a kid, but like, there's so much more Transformers I haven't watched than have. The movie also does some effective sequel baiting in this part with talk about the creators and Optimus Prime. Like, I was like, oh, I'm curious what this is going to be all about. Sadly, we would get the answer. After some shenanigans on the spaceship, they barely make their escape and get into an aircraft chase with those fighter ships from Dark of the Moon. This sequence is kinda sick, has some fun shots, and I'm not gonna lie, Mark Wahlberg slamming a Bud Light and telling his daughter to grab a sword gun is the kind of energy I can get behind. I honestly wish more of the movie was on that level. So, to speed things along, because the movie certainly doesn't, the Autobots realize that Megatron's consciousness has been manipulating KSI's weapons program. He wanted KSI to get the seed so he could lead a robot uprising and detonate the device in a highly populated area, because evil, I guess? So through a bunch of narrative shenanigans, we go to Hong Kong for the third act of non-stop action. Some of it's sick, some of it's monotonous, and very little of it makes sense. The Dinobots definitely add a degree of much-needed batshit craziness to the third act, but the drone bots just aren't as visually appealing in motion, and you can tell the effects team was starting to get stretched thin by the finish line. The final battle has Optimus and Lockdown going toe-to-toe. Cade shows up to provide support, but kind of ruins it since Optimus has to take his eyes off Lockdown and kill Adinger when he gets the drop on Cade. This really feels like such a film school script, where it's introducing unnecessary problems for tension instead of just delivering a solid knockdown drag-out fight to close this bitch out. I will say the movie actually ends with a very intriguing setup for the sequel, with Optimus leaving Earth to go hunt his creators. Like, on paper, that idea is metal as hell. It's just a shame the payoff boiled down to...
Move, bitch! Get out of my way! Human!
So, no one can accuse any of the Transformers movies of narrative efficiency. These movies are bloated, but none more so than Age of Extinction. There's just so much chuffa here. There's an interesting subtext, sure, but it's drowned out by the convoluted plotting of the text. The family dynamic is a cool twist, but Shane is just such a weird and unnecessary character. And that's no shade to Jack Rayner. I really enjoy him as an actor. If you haven't seen Sing Street, he's fantastic in it. He's just given the weirdest material to work with here. Honestly, if the A-plot was just simply the Transformers are hunted by their former allies with a strained father-daughter duo caught up in the crosshairs, and it was trimmed down to a good hour 45, 2 hours tops, this would have been a certified dub. Especially in the early going, you could see the makings of something fun here. As it is though, it's 2 hours and 45 minutes of narrative place setting. It has an interesting idea here and there, but it doesn't seem like it knows what to do with them. Though, that being said, it is some damn good looking place setting. Bay also shot this film in 3D, so the editing isn't frantic, the shot composition is considered, and there's just a lot of eye candy here. Say what you will about their stories, but Transformers 3 and 4 can go toe-to-toe with damn near any Marvel movie in the spectacle department. Honestly, they can go toe-to-toe with damn near any spectacle of the last 5 years in the spectacle department. Rise of the Beast has charming characters and a narrative that more or less works, but it does so with flat visuals. And I'm sorry, but when it comes to cars turning into robots, I only care so much about the script. It's dumb and barely above mediocre. Like, it's right there. But I don't go into a Transformers movie expecting fucking 3 colors red. And after the last 8 years of every genre film feeling like it has to say something about the world to mix results, I'm okay with a dumbass movie that knows it's a dumbass movie. But like, if you're gonna be a dumbass movie, at least be brief about it. Age of Extinction feels like a movie existing at a crossroads. Superheroes were slowly but surely becoming all the rage. This muscular fusion of live pyrotechnics, digital wonders through the lens of directors with very specific styles were being phased out in favor of CGI mush anchored by Indian journeyman directors hired specifically because of their relative lack of style. It's strange both due to the bizarre combination of story elements, but also because it really feels like the last gasp of the era of epics. It went out not with a bang, but a very confused roar. Should you watch Age of Extinction? There's 2 far superior Transformers films in Transformers and Dark in the Moon, but if you find yourself in the mood to roll something up and watch some visually stunning, morally strange nonsense you don't even have to pay full attention to, like, there are worse choices. I mean, it's certainly better than Sucker Punch. I wonder if that's part of my new review scale. Transformers 4. Better than Sucker Punch. Anyway, that's my spiel. I'll see you in the next one.